Welcome back to my channel. I am just trying to get these videos done. I have this little chunk of time. It's amazing. Okay, so this is week 7 of the YouTube Pagan Challenge, where we discuss sacred texts and mythologies. Now, I do believe in sacred texts, and I do believe there's a lot of sacred texts. One man's sacred text might not be another man's sacred text. But so yes, I do consider the Bible sacred text. I do consider the Torah, the Quran. I do consider the Bhagavad Gita, the Upanishads, things like that. Those are sacred texts. And other faiths have other texts that's sacred to them. Mormons have the Book of Mormon. That's a sacred text. Do I work with sacred texts? Yes. Do I work with the Bible? Things like that? Not really. Growing up, as I've mentioned, I was raised Catholic, and I have read the Bible. And for me, what sacred text is a guideline. They are things to show you a better way to live, perhaps, or ways to act. They are open to interpretation as far as I'm concerned. How one man may interpret it is different. In the Bible, yes, the Bible does contradict itself a lot. The Old Testament and New Testament, written 2 different times. The Old Testament is basically what the Jewish faith follows. So that's pre-Jesus. And the Old Testament is a bit more of a vengeful God. A bit more of a, I'm going to teach you a lesson, God. A bit more of testing you, God. Hammurabi's Code, eye for an eye. That's Old Testament stuff. New Testament, turn the other cheek. Things like that. Eye for an eye is not my thing, but turn the other cheek is. So yes, there are certain things, certain lessons that I have learned in the Bible that I do hold with me to this day. One of my favorite parables in the Bible is actually the prodigal son, because I think that's a very valuable lesson. What else are there? I can't remember all of the stories I've read, but do I think these things happened actually? I don't know. But I think at the very least, they do give us, one, a glimpse into history, because even if some of these things may not be true, we do get to see the mindset of the time in which they were written. What people thought and what they considered good and bad. We do get to understand that. It is a history. It is still history rich. I have read, long ago, I've read the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. The Bhagavad Gita is, my goodness, I cannot even remember if it's Hindu or Buddhist. I really want to say Hindu. And the Upanishads, I think the Upanishads actually are recognized in Hindu faith and Buddhist faith. But again, these things they teach us ways to live. Morals. Do you need religion for morals? No, you don't. But they do have a bit of a moral compass. I think there's something to learn in all of these texts. I follow Buddhist teachings too. I try to be mindful. I'm not always successful, but I do try to live a mindful life, to be mindful in what I do, to be purposeful in what I do. Um, but what I also consider to be sacred text is my own writing. Is my own writing. Way to go, English major here. Are my own writings. My book of shadows. My journals. These are sacred as well. These are not only glimpses into me, but these are compilation of ideas and beliefs and thoughts that I have compiled over the years. I go back and I read from my first book of shadows. I look back and I see what I believed then, how I've changed, how my thoughts have changed. But not only that, these are books I can hand down to my children. Whether or not they believe what I believe doesn't matter. They get to see inside of me, the personal me, the real me. And so to me, these are sacred texts as well. I hold them sacred. I hold them in my heart. That is what makes them sacred, in my opinion. There is a bit of a reverence for sacred texts. Because I hold them sacred does not mean the next person has to hold them sacred. So because I think the Bible is sacred, I think the Bhagavad Gita is sacred, I think my book of shadows, my journals are sacred, does not mean the next person does. Doesn't mean they have to. It would be nice to respect what one holds sacred, but doesn't mean they have to feel it's sacred as well. As far as myths go, yes, I do use myths in my practice because it helps me connect to deity. For me, it helps me understand the energies behind deity, what they are about, how they can manifest, things like that. Very much the myths of Isis, the stories of her and Osiris, and her bringing Osiris back from the dead, well, with aid. Her not only giving birth to Horus, protecting Horus, her on her journey when she was grieving, and she protected a child. She's very much a mother figure to me, all encompassing. That is not all that Isis is, but Isis is very much a mother figure to me, and I connect with that through her myths. Same with Thoth, through his myths. Same with Ganesh, Kali, Lakshmi, Kuan Yin, all of these deities, Bast, Sekhmet, Hathor, Horus. Their myths is how I connect to them, how I understand them, how I relate to them. So I feel myths are important to know, important to read. I don't feel that you have to be constrained by them, tied to those myths. Yes, I want to know about offerings given to Isis in the past, offerings devotees of Isis may give her now. Do I tie myself to that? No, I don't. Ultimately, I give offering of what I feel I am supposed to give her, what I am led to give her. Today, my offering to Isis and Thoth was Kithi incense. I did not light the incense. I simply sprinkled the incense into their candles. It still burns, the smoke still goes up to them, but not only that, yes, chunks of it stays in the candle. But that is what I was called to do, and that is what I did. Is that how one would typically do it? No. When you give an offering of incense, you do burn it. You burn it. The smoke carries up to the gods. It is that smoke that carries not only your offering and your love and devotion, but your prayers, your wishes, your desires. It is that carries it up. But is that how I did it? No, because this is how I wanted to do it. But I think it's good to know these things. Um, I don't want to offend deity, and I don't think you can, per se. If you are called, it is spirit that guides you, it is higher power that guides you. When you know, I need to do this, that is spirit, that is higher power, that's source speaking to you. So when people say to you, oh, you're doing the wrong thing, that's not right, don't do that, you are not honoring your deity in the appropriate way, that is not the kind of offering you give. Deity will let you know whether they want it or not. They will let you know. If you are seeking to connect to spirit, connect to spirit. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust your intuition, and let that guide you. Your intuition is a gift. We all possess it. We all possess it. It is something that we all need to cultivate, work with, but we all possess it in whatever degree. We need to listen to spirit. The giver of the gift leads you with that gift. I think that's about it. So thanks for watching, and bless you.